Hello guys, welcome to another video. Tensura X Fate, when the Time Reincarnated as Human by Vericishi. Prologue. Reincarnation Satoru's perspective, first person. I've ruled the cardinal world for 30 billion years, and I can tell you it gets boring. Paperwork, battles, and the same old problems. Well, if you think why I have rules the kingdom for this much years, you are forgetting important things, as not only I need to rule one timeline but 3 of them. Well, I forgot you guys didn't know about the story. How can I start? Well, I will start him. Well, that explanation can be done in another time, okay? Every single day. So, one day, I decided to spice things up. I released my soul or consciousness into the reincarnation system without any real plan, and next thing I knew, I was reborn as a human in the modern world. Well, I am currently not a Rimuru Tempest nor a Demon Lord. You hear me, or at least understand what I am getting at. Well, for taking care of Tempest, I just already placed parallel existence there. If you guys thinking about Seal, well, it's not matter, as I already mastered my complete ability, so even using reincarnation system is easy task for me. Well, because of organ skill Akashic record, I also access to so many thing like advanced version of reincarnation system, at least in as Rimuru Tempest. Okay, we are off the topic, so let me go to the story. Can we not make the readers wait so much, right? So let me go back to it's 2003, February 7th, and I'm now Satoru Tasaka. I've got a twin sister named Rin and a younger sister named Sakura. Oh, and my parents are magi. Fun twist, right? But here's the kicker, most of my powers are sealed. Only my humanly possible abilities as a magus remain. Well, actually there is some problem with my appearance, as it's not match Rin, my twin sister, at all. Seriously, I get my appearance similar to when I was Rimuru. Well, not genderless though, but fully a boy. You hear me, a boy. Well, currently I am 10 years old, to be honest, as the time goes smoothly than expected. Well, for me 10 years is not that big, right? Well, as human it's might be different. Well, because of my some low-end extra skill like perfect memory, I retain memory in astral body. Because of it, even with new brain, no problem remember my past life in Tempest, as I only access to some of basic skill like that now because, well, I just. Yeah, if you guys thinking I am doing heavy work or so currently, no, I am not. I was sleeping. I mean, come on, can you even blame me? It's my dad is so strict guy as make me do practice magecraft daily. Don't think I am lazy or sort, I am not, you know I ain't. I am telling the truth. Yep, my twin sister is also sleeping with me in same bed. HMN, let's make her get scolded by mom. Fufu. She is perfect for teasing, can't blame me. Well, compared to my age, my dad actually is just a toddler, but well, don't care much about it. Fufu. Rin, Satoru, breakfast is ready. Mom called from downstairs, who is also toddler. I glanced at Rin, who was still half asleep in her bed. Come on, sleepyhead, time to get up, I said, shaking her shoulder. 5 more minutes, she mumbled, pulling the covers over her head. Fine, but don't blame me if you miss breakfast, I said, heading downstairs. Dad was already at the table, reading the newspaper. Good morning, Satoru. Ready for another day of training? Morning, Dad. Yeah, I'm ready, I replied, grabbing a piece of toast. Rin eventually joined us, looking slightly more awake. Morning, she said, yawning. Morning, Rin. We're working on elemental spells today, Dad announced. Rin perked up at that. She loved elemental spells. Me? I was more interested in perfecting my universal perception and thought acceleration, though I had to keep those abilities under wraps. Well, it's not I didn't like magecraft, you know, it's with thought acceleration I can skip some annoying homework little bit easy because it's not magecraft, it's not costing mana, so it's in win-win situation. I mean, yeah, there is limitation in human body as I can only acceleration thought up to 200 million, and because. After breakfast, we headed to the training room. It was a typical day, practice, and more practice. But for me, it was a welcome change from the monotony of ruling a kingdom. It's really pain in ass to same thing, you know. Yeah, I really hate magecraft sometime. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool and all, but there is limitation compared to magic. As one example is magic is based on user's imagination override and the certain laws of physics because imagination have no bounds, but the magecraft is more like take advantage of energy and spell configuration. Voice, sound, whatever in between to do even something mudane as flame to ice. It's something equal to crafting a thing from available aspect in world. Yeah, magecraft following so many principles, which actually annoying sometimes as I didn't like to learn every mechanism, you know. Rin Tasaka had always been competitive, especially with her twin brother, Satoru. From a young age, she had shown great potential as a magus, and she relished every opportunity to prove herself. Satoru, on the other hand, was more laid back, almost as if he'd seen it all before. Fireball. Rin shouted, casting a spell that sent a blazing sphere towards a target. It hit dead center, leaving a charred mark. "Nice one, Rin," Satoru said, his voice calm and encouraging. He raised his hand and with a flick of his wrist, conjured a gust of wind that extinguished the flames. "Show off," Rin with pout muttered. Their father, Tokiomi, watched them with a proud smile. "You're both doing well. Remember, control is key." Rin nodded, determined to outshine her brother, but she couldn't help but notice that Satoru always seemed to know exactly what to do, as if he had centuries of experience or at least in his action. It was both frustrating and fascinating, as he countered her spell every time with what is opposite nature of said spell, but he is so lazy in learning. He used to be diligent in study NG, but now not the case. It's really annoying her twin brother as excel her easily. Tokiomi's perspective, first person, watching my children train always fills me with pride. Rin, with her fierce determination, and Satoru, with his calm precision. They both have immense potential, but Satoru, can you demonstrate the barrier spell? I asked, wanting to see his technique. He nodded and raised his hand, chanting the incantation effortlessly. A shimmering barrier formed around him, flawless and impenetrable. The barrier is kinda similar to stardust formation on star. It didn't take shape of star, but it's similar concept as it's dense, something not go through even single subatomic particle that much dense. Yet it's have weakness of its own as it's because of density in it. It's didn't cover all area of user, but Rimuru being intelligent he used it as with missing spatial spell to change the coordination accordingly to redirect the attack. It's similar to star but not at same time. As with my understanding of mana, spell structure configuration, it's what I understand what Rimuru do now. He is using principle of stars. I don't know how he get affinity for something rare as star. As there is not everyone can have affinity for anything, as some have only fire, water and other elements, but the stardust at least I seeing it for first time doing as spell. I also didn't remember the spell he did. I teached him it's not much of problems, but still. Let's check it real quick. Excellent, I said. My sweet Rin, try to break through it. Rin grinned in confidence, relishing the challenge. She cast a powerful spell, but the barrier held firm. Damn it, she muttered under her breath, but she was smiling. Remember, Rin, it's not just about power. It's about control and precision, I reminded her. Yes, father, she replied, her eyes still on the barrier. Sakura's perspective, first person, I've always looked up to my older siblings, Rin and Satoru. They're so strong and talented. But when I was 8, everything changed. I was sent to live with the Matu family. It was supposed to be for my training, but it felt more like a punishment. Matu Zoken was a terrifying man. He subjected me to horrible experiments, all in the name of magic. I missed my family terribly, especially Satoru. He had a way of making everything seem less scary, and my current brother. One night, when I was particularly lonely, I heard a whisper in my mind. Sakura, it's Satoru. Are you okay? I nearly jumped out of my skin. Satoru ni-san, how can you be here? It's a long story, but I'm always with you, even if you can't see me, he said, his voice soothing. Tears filled my eyes. I miss you so much. I miss you too, Sakura. But be strong. I know you can get through this, he said. His words gave me strength, and I held onto them tightly. I had to be strong, for him and for myself. Satoru's perspective, first person, life as a human was more challenging than I expected. My parents died during the Third Grail War, and it left Rin and me to fend for ourselves. It was tough, but it brought us closer together. Some shady guy named Kotomine Kirei, a new priest after his dad died. I don't know much of him, but he give me vibe of some sadist and a twisted way of thinking him like I don't kmo. Rin took on the role of the head of the Tasaka family, and she did it with grace and strength. I focused on honing my skills, using the knowledge from my previous life to enhance my spellcasting. Thought acceleration and universal perception were still there, though limited. But they were enough. As most of my abilities sealed inside imaginary space, and of course I have no access to it currently. Well, I can access it whenever I wanted, but there is limitation currently I have. One night, I was sitting in my room, deep in thought, when Rin walked in. Satoru, do you ever wonder who killed our parents? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I looked up at her, seeing the pain in her eyes. Every day, I admitted. But we'll find out, Rin. We'll make them pay. She nodded, tears welling up. I miss them so much. I know, I said, pulling her into a hug. But we have each other. We'll get through this together. As we sat there, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. I wasn't just Satoru Tasaka, Magus. I was Rimuru Tempest, a demon lord. And I would protect my family at all costs. At least I try my best. Years passed, and the siblings grew stronger, both in magic and in their bond. Satoru's human life was filled with trials and tribulations, but he faced each challenge with the wisdom of his previous existence. His connection with Sakura remained strong, despite the distance and the horrors she endured. The Fourth Grail War loomed on the horizon, and the Tasaka family prepared for the battles to come. Satoru and Rin stood side by side, ready to face whatever came their way. "Are you ready, Satoru?" Rin asked, determination etched on her face. "Always," he replied, a small smile playing on his lips. They decided to face the darkness, fight their enemies, and uncover the truth behind their parents' deaths. And through it all, Satoru would remember who he truly was: a ruler, a protector, and above all, a brother. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The Tasaka family would endure, and they would do it together. Isn't together is greater than being alone in a void for eternity without anything, not even a single spacetime.